the Night Whisperer.
The story begins one September evening at the technology company in Oakwood. Jason, a supervisor, instructs his two subordinates, Mike and Joseph, to go to Lone Wolf Village to build an internet network there. They are allowed to use the company car and will later stay at the house of the village chief, Mr. Bowman. After checking the map, they realize that Lone Wolf Village is far from the city center and requires a 7-hour journey. Mike and Joseph prepare the necessary equipment and leave in the afternoon. Mike is driving while Joseph is in the passenger seat. As night falls, Mike and Joseph begin to feel drowsy and hungry. They notice that the road is surrounded by fields and small houses that are spaced far apart. It's almost midnight and the road is getting darker. Suddenly, Mike and Joseph see a bright light. It turns out that the light comes from a grand restaurant shining in colorful lights with many people eating and dancing inside. Surprised to see such a nice restaurant open in the middle of the night in the village, Mike and Joseph decide to eat and rest there. They enter the restaurant and sit at an empty table. A waiter brings them a menu book and they order food and drinks. Without saying thank you, the waiter immediately takes the menu book and leaves. Mike and Joseph notice that the waiter looks pale. They observe that the people around them also have pale faces. Some are staring at them. Mike just smiles at them. His attention then shifts to a beautiful female singer on stage. She has blonde hair and is wearing a red dress. It seems that the singer is the star of the place because many people are standing around her on the stage. However, Mike wonders why she keeps singing Auld Lang Syne repeatedly, even though it's still September. But anyway, Mike is captivated by the singer's beauty. Mike walked to the edge of the stage and joined in singing. After finishing, the singer, named Cheryl, came down from the stage, and Mike approached her to ask for her name and phone number. Cheryl handed him a piece of paper with her number on it. Mike introduced himself, but Cheryl walked backstage without any expression. After that, Mike returned to the table. After eating, Joseph paid, and they left the restaurant heading to Mr. Bowman's residence. After a 30-minute drive, they arrived at his house, clean and maintained house. Mr. Bowman was waiting for them at the door. They both, feeling very sleepy, greeted Mr. Bowman and said, "I thought I would be stuck in this village without entertainment, but it turns out there's a magnificent restaurant and a beautiful singer. I will go there again tomorrow." Mr. Bowman looked confused, but still showed them the bedroom. Inside the house, there was a living room with a table and 3 rooms, one for them, one with a "Do Not Disturb" sign, and one without any sign. Then Mr. Bowman entered the room without any sign. Mike and Joseph woke up late and hurried outside to survey the internet connection. In front of the house, they met Mr. Bowman. Mike said, "Wow, I can't wait to go to that restaurant tonight to meet Cheryl." Then they left Mr. Bowman, who entered the house with a confused expression and went to the room with the "Do Not Disturb" sign. Inside that room, there was a poster of Cheryl singing and a framed photo of young Cheryl playing in the garden with a younger Mr. Bowman. He then took the photo album and sat in the living room to open it. At the beginning of the album, there was a photo of a young Mr. Bowman holding a baby girl, followed by a photo of little Cheryl playing with him. At the end of the album, there were two newspaper clippings. One about the restaurant that burned down 2 years ago due to the negligence of a hurried assistant chef, and another about prima donna singer who perished in the fire along with the staff. Mr. Bowman cried and fell asleep next to the open album. In the evening, Mike and Joseph returned to Mr. Bowman's residence. Seeing Cheryl's photo in the album, Mike said, "Wow, Cheryl really is the star here." He read the article and asked Mr. Bowman if it was true. Mr. Bowman confirmed that Cheryl was his daughter who had passed away 2 years ago. In disbelief, Mike said it couldn't be true, since Cheryl had given him her number. Mike went to his room and came out holding a piece of paper that had sharp edges but still showed her phone number. He dialed the number and suddenly they heard a phone ringing in the house. They followed the sound and entered Cheryl's room, where a phone was ringing on the desk. In the middle of their confusion, suddenly Mike's phone seemed to be answered without being touched. They heard the tune of Old Lang Syne coming from Mike's phone, and fear began to set in. The song suddenly stopped, and Cheryl's voice came through, asking, "Are you coming tonight?"